when you begin your personal development, you're not going to wake up in the best version of yourself. The goal isn't to be the best you by tomorrow. The goal is to compound yourself into a feedback loop where you are constantly accruing personal value to move yourself in certain directions you couldn't have moved. You could have made that move because you weren't thoroughly developed enough. You have to understand that when you want to make your content, when you want to create your personal brand, you need to have a certain level of personal value attached to that. If to give something, to serve, to sell a product, because that's essentially what you're doing here, you have to have value attached to that. And you do that by developing yourself. You pick up a fucking book and you read that shit instead of walking around as an incompetent, fucking underdeveloped, inferior fucking primate. In a world full of delirious primates that live in their imagination and couldn't blink to look at the fact of reality, which is that they're a bitch pussy that can't wake up to reality and see how incompetent they are as individuals and how they walk around the earth like they aren't fucking problem creators. Now, you're either a problem solver or a problem creator. And our goal in development is to become the problem solvers at such a high degree that we can solve large scale problems that, they manifest at a large scale. But these individuals who are really just wastes of space of earth, a waste of space of, they have so much potential and then they waste it being that incompetent, addicted fuck. So, when it comes to the development, guys, it's not about becoming an overnight success. It's about becoming a compound effect to continually grow in every metric of existence. And, they always ask what's the motivation. They always seek the motivation. But the motivation is really just the existence of the piece of shit underdeveloped modern man. The modern man is the best example of what the fuck not to be. Because that bitch that can't take accountability and responsibility for that pussy needs to get his shit kicked in for what he does on a daily basis. Your habits are a reflection of you. If you can't put your time and energy into anything positive to create a better future, to be a better person for yourself and your people, to be a fucking liability on earth, is to be a fucking waste of space, renditioned, inferior fucking primate. As we continue to develop ourselves in every metric to show up as the best as we possibly could be all the time, to become a present, to create a present for ourselves in the present moment, to sit there and be an underdeveloped piece of shit, is to hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable for that bitch in the mirror. First of all, you need to develop yourself in places where you're underdeveloped. Everyone likes to stand on their strength. No one wants to look at their fucking weaknesses. Look at your life. You only live once. Are you really going to be satisfied and accept that shit? How long have you been on earth, and what have you done with that time and energy? Because if you haven't done shit, it's because you're wasting it. And to waste your own time and energy is to be a waste of space on earth in factual context, because what the fuck you had to create some shit you didn't create shit with. So you are, in fact, like literally matter the fact, like in the veracity contextualization of the fact of the actual definitive definition of a fact, you are a waste of space on earth. So are you going to continue being a waste of space on earth, or are you going to begin that personal development? Are you going to actually look in the mirror and realize how much of a pussy that bitch in the mirror is, and actually make a move to fix that fucking irreputable, irrefutably despicable, condemnable, low-level piece of shit bitch? Now, you have to understand that when you reach to certain levels of development, you just can't stand being aware of certain people. Like, as we all have existential awarenesses that, allow us to experience, the world through the eyes of yourself, to be an individual ego in the universe, and, to experience life through your own, eyes, right? Through your own eye, right? Your own identification. To be aware of certain people is to just agitate and to irritate and to really just make you want to punch them in the fucking face. But since we hold ourselves accountable in every metric all the time, and we are the superior standard, right? We don't deviate to these lower, these actions that the lower inferior fucking piece of shit standard would deviate to just because their feelings got hurt. Bitch! If we didn't hold ourselves to that standard, if we weren't the superior standard, we would be very bad people. We are, very positive all the time. We are constructive individuals. And if we weren't constructive individuals, well, then, a lot of people go their life channeling that pain onto themselves. But we channel our pain onto you. And so if you're the same type of individual, you have pain inside and, you don't want to take that out on yourself. You want to take that out on other people. Well, it's time to make a change, because that's very low self-esteem. And if that's what you believe you're worth, then you're also a part of the inferior standard, and you're rendered inferior by personal behavior and personal conduit. So don't reflect the lower aspects of yourself. What you simply do is you create a set of habits which are difficult to do. So as the workout, tracking the macros, you look at your mental health, you pick up the journal, and you actually look at your thoughts and observe your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind your thoughts, and your thoughts are just the omission of the frequency that you vibrate on. So while you remain having those delirious fucking piece of shit, insidious, hideous thoughts, that's just a reflection of who the fuck you are and what the fuck you do all day. So, if you want to have more innovative, creative thoughts, well, you're going to have to do things that reflect creativity and, self-recreation to a certain degree. You can't be positive if you're always negative, and you definitely won't be positive if you're surrounded by negativity. So the first step to being positive is to get rid of that negative habit and that negative piece of shit, bitch, that you always hang with, those fake friends that do nothing but feed their egos with entertainment, and they use your life as a crutch to feel better about that bitch who hasn't been doing shit with the fucking life they get once. Now, every word we speak into existence, every word that reverberates out of the Adam apple, it has meaning with it. And there's a message deep within it that every mind in the universe, every mind on earth can resonate with, because it's the truth. If you're not constructing, you're destructing. If you're not personally developing, then you're definitely devolving into an inferior hominid. So you're either going to develop into a human, a full spectrum conscious sentient being, instead of a atomic, automatic, fucking subconsciously unconscious robot that just goes through their life forgetting that they only live once, and to be an unconscious, not to recognize the fact that time is decreasing and your lifespan isn't increasing. So time is decreasing and you're not doing shit to actually do anything to fix that bitch in the mirror. So when it comes to extreme personal development, it's either you're going to radically increase yourself in every aspect of your life, or you're just going to be rendered inferior to the ones that do. And while we get shit done and you waste time with the one fucking life that you only get once, we're just going to look at you as another primate, another animal, another squirrel, another fucking dog. Your life is valueless and worth less because you have not put in work into yourself to be valuable. It's not that you're valueless, it's that you haven't put any value into yourself to create a certain degree of value to yourself. Every time you read the book, every time you hit the workout, every time you do something to create value for yourself, you are instilling your own worth. You create your worth as a man. The work instills the worth. And if you haven't been putting any work in, bitch, well, best believe you're worth less and value less by your own conduit and your habits. So before you get mad at the message, get mad for that bitch in the mirror and fix that piece of shit bitch that couldn't be accountable and responsible for that addicted, fat, sloppy, out of shape bitch in the mirror. Now, links in the description. And if you can't fix yourself to be a better individual in the life you only live once, well, succumb to circumstance and die that piece of shit. No one gives a fuck about you if you don't give a fuck about yourself. Peace!